it is that time again on Saturday night. It's time for the 10 before the 10. Yes. I'm Madison Forsey, your weekend evening anchor here at WNCT.
And I'm meteorologist Jordyn. In the past couple of weeks, this is what, our 4th episode now?
This is the 4th, yes.
So we've talked about personal, fun, get to know you questions in our first episode. Our second episode was about newsy words.
Yes. Things that we use every day that we think that, you know, it's normal for us to use, but some people might be like, what are you talking about?
And then we go out in public and say it, and they're like,
huh? So now you know, so you can go back and watch that one. And then what was the one that we did last week?
Someone actually asked us a question, what our day-to-day lives are in. They're pretty much everywhere, and every single person has a different day.
Yeah, which is an answer, but also isn't an answer at the same time. But we had another question today, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So what was that question, Jordyn?
What did it take for us to get here in terms of like training, schooling, and just other departments? I guess we could talk about the other departments as well.
Yeah. So I think there's a big difference probably between meteorology and news. I debated taking some meteorology classes at one point in my 4 years in undergrad, and they were only offered at another school that was near me, and when I saw that you needed to take calculus, I was like, I'm out. I can't do it.
They even made the preliminary calculus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like way more involved. When I saw that, I'm like, yeah, you know what, I barely made it through calc in high school. Not doing it.
Penn State offers a intro to meteorology course specifically for students not wanting.
That's what I needed. Yeah, I just wanted a little bit of background weather.
It's still a hard class.
Yeah. Oh, I don't doubt that. I watch what Jordyn does every day, and I'm like, no way, I'm good. I'm totally good.
What I do now is 10 times easier than what I just went through.
Okay, so then talk to me. Okay, you go first. Penn State. What was your training and everything like there to be a meteorologist?
Yeah. Okay. So the funny part about this is, y'all are gonna laugh at me because I just wasn't thinking clearly. I was in like the STEM classes in high school, and I felt like everyone wanted to be an engineer, and I used to say, you're not gonna catch me doing that because there's no way in ever that I will be doing a lot of physics and math. And then I said I wanted to be a meteorologist.
And look at her now.
And then I opened up my college curriculum, and I had just as many math classes as my boyfriend, who is an engineer. So
she knows her stuff. That's what she's saying. So a lot of physics, math classes. What about like actually teaching you about weather patterns and like the basics of weather? Like I guess are those classes a part of the curriculum too? Yeah.
So a lot of them are actually the Penn State weather program is actually very small compared to Penn State University, but we kind of start off with like all the STEM people, and then by the time we get to our second year, almost second and a half year, then we get to move into that really rigorous meteorology program. So
branch off into your own little area. So then I know for us in news, we had a lot of on-air experience because that's really what they're trying to train you to tell stories, but they're also trying to train you like on-air. So did you guys have like an on-air component to all of it too? On top of like learning how to forecast?
Yeah, I used to say when I was in that program that it felt like I was doing 2 degrees, but only getting credit for 1. Because you had to do all that, because in general, everyone in that program is not always doing TV.
Yeah, that's true. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't realize either. There are a lot of jobs in meteorology.
Right. You can work for airports, you can work for just the National Weather Service, emergency management. Like you could do a lot of things with weather that nobody talks about. Even like lawsuit dealings and stuff like that, you can work for meteorology in that.
Oh, like a law office.
Right.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that.
You're like the expert witness if someone's trying to sue someone.
Okay, so like a forensic pathologist or something like that. Gotcha.
So there's that. So actually I felt like I was doing 2 different things because we had a couple classes on the subject, and I was very grateful for those classes, but I had to put in a lot of time before and after class, which was already a hard program, to get myself ready for a job.
Yeah, there's a lot of training that goes into it. Right. I know, so our training at UNC, it was very much, you got credit and a lot of training in class, but a lot of it was what you were putting into it out of class.
Right.
So we had, you guys probably took it the basics of like some storytelling classes and stuff like that. And we used equipment. We had cameras and tripods and everything that are just like what we're using right now. But we, you get into it really as soon as you can, but we had a show called Carolina Week that we would put together. And that was very similar to the newscast that we have now. We have director, producers, you know, I would go out and put together my own story. Did you guys have like a weather newscast like that? Because I know NC State, they have a really good weather program in North Carolina. So they would sometimes come over and help us. Like they would be the weather person for our Carolina Week show.
Yeah,
so
we
I
do
feel
have
like,
something like that.
Okay, so then that makes sense. But that's giving you your in-class experience too.
Right.
But we had our show, being that it was like a practice little mini newscast, I thought it was great because you didn't have to just do the one thing that you thought you might want to do. Like you didn't just have to report. You could work graphics, or you could direct a show, or you could run a camera, or you could do lighting, or you could just produce 3 or 4 stories and then sit and watch the show and not even participate in the actual show itself. So it was always really stressful. I remember we had the shows on Wednesdays and we were like working up.
We had ours on Wednesdays too.
Oh, that's wild. Ours was on Facebook Live.
Ours was
like taped.
I don't want to mess up the name. No, ours was taped and put together because we had a few climate packages, and we had stories, and then we had the forecast, and then we had the open and close of the show.
So did you guys ever have to like audition or anything for your like show? Because we had like main anchors for Carolina Week, and then there was my senior year we did have a weather person who basically set the 7-day forecast. And then we also had like a community events person and then a sports person, and you had to audition for all those roles. So you didn't just get them. So there was nobody like anchoring it you had to try out for.
We had like, so like we had what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But we didn't get, it wasn't a class, it wasn't credit. And they would send one weather person each semester to cover that. So like it was very limited spots. I wasn't actually able to do that. But then we had additional things where it was like, I was a part of Whether or Not. It was like airing on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Whether or Not?
Yes.
That's what it was called?
Yeah, it was all about weather.
I love a good pun. Whether or Not. That's so cute. Oh my gosh. I love that.
Yeah,
Ours
that was the one full of weather.
Okay.
All weather.
Gotcha. Yeah, I really do wish that UNC had more meteorology opportunities because I feel like that's one area like we were talking about that I would want to learn more about. But we just never really had that. Ours was more heavily focused on storytelling, news gathering, and like you didn't just get to do this show. Like we started off, I remember it was 252, and it was just the basics of like how to use a camera. And it was like a little camcorder. Yeah. And you would just practice like getting shots and writing up interviews, and then you had an audio journalism class that was just a recorder. So then that really taught you to hone in on your storytelling, because there's nothing visual helping you out. It's all about what you're saying and what the person is saying. So that one was challenging. And then you worked your way up to, oh, I'm trying to remember what the number is. It doesn't matter what the number is, but that's what we always called the classes. But then that one was actually like making packages. So what I do every day now, that's what that class was. And I remember it was scary. When I put together my first package, I had no clue what I was doing.
My first package, I was so helpless.
Yeah,
I was like,
helpless is a good word. I'm like, oh my god.
I was like, what do you mean shoot something? What's that mean?
How much video do I get? What interviews do I get? Like, I don't know. It was overwhelming. And I remember my packages were always way too long. And my professor, who actually used to work here at WNCT, she was like, Madison, you're making it way too hard on yourself. This is way too long.
Well, get this. Our packages had to be 4 to 5 minutes long.
4 to 5 minutes?
Yeah.
To put that into context, an average news package is 1:15 to 1:30. 1 minute 15 to minute 30.
4 to 5.
4 to 5 minutes? Oh my gosh.
And honestly, I always went over. Like honest.
Holy cow.
You can talk about a weather situation for a long time.
I guess if it's kind of like your what's up weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that makes sense.
So when I'm given 1:30, like she said,
yeah,
I'm literally like, and this is
let's go quick. That's crazy. 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's like a mini documentary.
Pretty much. I mean, every week. But the show itself, I think, was 16 minutes.
Oh, the show was 16 minutes long.
Yeah.
Okay. Ours was around 30. It wasn't solidly 30 because sometimes we just didn't have the content to fill it, but we always like had blocks and everything and we tried our best. But
so my question is, if people really dug into YouTube, would they find you on there?
Probably. More than likely, yes, they would definitely
don't
find
look me up on YouTube.
You can look me up. You're gonna see a very young version of Madison on there just trying her best. And I don't know if that's what you want to see.
That's the crazy part.
What?
They won't find me because I changed my name.
Oh yeah, they might not. This is a TV name.
TV name.
Jenna. What's her real alias? We don't know. But we have to go and get ready for the 10 o'clock on the CW. Thank you for joining us. And if you have a question or a topic or something you'd like us to talk about, feel free to drop it in the comments.
Yes, for sure.
We are definitely listening and paying attention.
We're going to be here every week.
Yeah. So join us. We'll see you guys at 10 on the CW.